Hi everyone, I'm Emma. Welcome back to Flow Speak Studio. If you're here today, chances are you've felt this before. You understand English. You can follow videos. You can read. You can listen. But when it's time to speak, something happens. Your mind freezes. And today, we're going to talk about that moment.
And this is Alex, and before we go any further, let me say this slowly, clearly, and honestly. If you understand English but can't speak it yet, there is nothing wrong with you. Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. And I want you to imagine something for a second. You're in a meeting, or a call, or maybe just a casual conversation. Someone looks at you and asks a simple question like, "So, what do you think?" And inside your head, chaos.
Your heart beats faster. Your chest feels tight. Your thoughts start running, but no words come out. And the silence feels loud.
So loud. And what makes it worse is that later, when you're alone, when the moment is gone, suddenly the perfect answer appears.
And you think, why didn't I say that? I know this. I can speak English. That frustration stays with you.
That's why today's episode exists. Not to teach you grammar, not to throw vocabulary at you, but to help you understand yourself.
Because once you understand why this happens, you stop blaming yourself. And that changes everything.
In Flow Speak Studio, we don't rush English.
We don't chase perfection.
We focus on real conversations, real emotions, and real progress.
So take a breath. Relax your shoulders. You don't need to understand everything perfectly. Just listen and let it sink in. What it really feels like to be stuck. Let me tell you a story. A real one. A few years ago, I had to join weekly calls with people from different countries. I understood everything they said. Everything. But every time it was my turn to speak, I delayed. I avoided eye contact. I hoped someone else would talk.
I know that feeling too well. For me, it was conferences. People chatting during breaks. Small talk. The kind of English no one teaches you.
Exactly. And what people don't realize is that being stuck isn't silence. It's noise.
So much noise. Your brain is talking nonstop. Correcting you. Judging you. Rushing you.
It says things like, say it right. Don't mess up. They're waiting.
And the more it talks, the less you speak.
I remember once someone asked me a very simple question. Where are you from? I panicked. Not because I didn't know the answer, but because I wanted to say it perfectly.
And perfection kills flow. Every time.
I smiled. Paused too long. And answered in a way that didn't even sound like me.
And afterward, you replayed it in your head, right?
4 hours.
That replay is exhausting. And listeners, if you're nodding right now, you're not alone. You know what's interesting, Alex? When people say, "I'm stuck speaking English," they often imagine silence. But for me, being stuck was emotional.
Yes. Exactly that. It's not just about words. It's about what happens inside you.
I remember being in a group conversation once. Everyone was laughing. The energy was great. And I understood the joke. I really did. But I didn't laugh immediately. Because I was translating it in my head.
Oh wow, yes. And by the time you were ready to react, the moment was gone.
Exactly. So I laughed late. And it felt fake. And then I felt embarrassed. And then I stopped reacting at all.
That's such an important point. Being stuck slowly changes your behavior. You talk less. You react less. You become quieter than you really are.
And people start thinking that's your personality. But it's not. It's fear.
Fear mixed with pressure. Pressure to sound smart. Pressure to sound fluent. Pressure to not make mistakes.
And here's something I want to say very clearly. English learners are often too intelligent for their own good.
Yes. Because intelligent people overthink. They see many options, many sentence structures, many possible mistakes.
And instead of choosing one and speaking, they freeze.
That's why this phase hurts so much. Because your mind is already advanced. But your speaking hasn't caught up yet.
And that mismatch creates frustration.
If you're listening and thinking, yes, that's exactly me. I want you to remember this. Being stuck means you're on the edge of progress, not failure.
And that's the perfect moment to move to the next part. Because now that we understand how it feels, we need to talk about why it happens. Why your brain blocks you when you speak. Let's talk about the brain. Because your brain is not your enemy. But sometimes it behaves like one.
Especially under pressure. Your brain has one main job: keep you safe.
And here's the problem. When you speak a second language, your brain often thinks you're in danger.
Not physical danger, but social danger.
Exactly. It thinks, what if they judge me? What if I sound stupid? What if I embarrass myself?
And when your brain senses danger, it activates something called fight or flight.
Which is great if you're being chased by a tiger.
But terrible if someone just asked you a question in English.
In that moment, your brain stops doing complex tasks, like building sentences, like choosing words, like thinking creatively.
It goes into survival mode. Short answers. Silence. Escape.
That's why your vocabulary disappears. It's not gone. It's blocked.
I remember once being asked to introduce myself in a meeting. I had prepared. I knew what to say. But the moment came. And my brain just said, nope.
And then afterward, when you were calm, everything came back.
Everything. Which proves something important. You don't lack English. You lack calm.
And calm is a skill, not a personality trait. Some people think fluent speakers are calm people. They're not. They just train their brains to stay calm while speaking.
That's such an important distinction.
Another huge reason people get stuck is overthinking. Your brain wants the perfect sentence.
Perfect grammar. Perfect pronunciation. Perfect timing.
But real conversations are messy. Native speakers don't speak perfectly. They pause. They restart. They change direction.
But learners don't allow themselves that freedom. They want a finished product before opening their mouth.
Which is impossible in real-time conversation.
Fear deserves its own moment here. Because fear doesn't scream. It whispers.
It says, maybe don't speak. Maybe stay quiet. Maybe wait.
And waiting becomes a habit.
I once forgot the word fork. I knew it. I had used it hundreds of times. But in that moment, nothing.
And you feel ridiculous. But that's a normal brain response.
The brain under pressure hides information. Like a drawer that suddenly won't open.
So if you feel blocked, remember this. It's not because you're bad at English. It's because your brain is trying to protect you.
And now that we understand that, we can finally move forward. How to unblock your speaking naturally. Now that we understand why the block happens. This is the most important part. Because understanding without action still feels frustrating.
Exactly. This is where we stop asking, what's wrong with me? And start asking, what can I do differently?
And the good news is, you don't need more grammar. You don't need more vocabulary lists.
What you need is to change the way you approach speaking. Skill 1: staying calm first, English second. Let me tell you something that changed everything for me. I stopped trying to answer fast.
That's huge.
I gave myself permission to pause. Not a panic pause. A calm pause.
Because silence is not failure. Silence is space.
Exactly. I started doing something very simple. Before answering, I took one slow breath. Not obvious. Not dramatic. Just enough to tell my brain, we're safe.
And when the brain feels safe, language comes back. Skill 2. Using time fillers naturally. Let's talk about something very practical, fillers.
Fillers are like soft cushions in conversation. They give your brain time without breaking the flow.
Things like, that's a good question. Let me think about that for a second. Interesting.
Native speakers use these all the time. They're not a sign of weakness. They're a sign of confidence.
Because you're not rushing. You're controlling the rhythm.
Skill 3. Paraphrasing to wake your brain. This one feels almost magical. When someone asks you a question, you repeat part of it.
Not like a robot, but naturally.
For example, so what do I think about the project? And while you say that, your brain wakes up. It buys you time and shows you're listening.
Skill 4. Simple structures over perfect sentences. This was hard for me to accept. Simple English is powerful English.
Yes. You don't need long sentences. You need clear ones.
Things like, I think this because, in my experience. For me, the main issue is, simple frames reduce pressure. Your brain doesn't panic because it knows where to go. Skill 5. Listening more, thinking less. One big mistake learners make is preparing their answer while listening.
Which means they're not really listening.
And when you don't listen fully, you have nothing to respond to.
But when you listen for emotion. 4 keywords. Responses come naturally.
Skill 6. Practicing imperfect speaking. This one changed my confidence completely. I practiced speaking bad English on purpose.
Yes. No corrections. No stopping. Just flow.
And slowly, my brain learned. Speaking is not dangerous.
And now, before we close this episode, it's time for something very important.
Now we're entering our favorite part. This is where we slow down and really live inside the language.
These are not random phrases. These are phrases that help you survive real conversations.
We'll take them one by one. And for each phrase, one of us will guide you through it slowly. Phrase 1. I feel stuck. The first phrase is, I feel stuck. This doesn't just mean you can't move. It means you feel mentally blocked, emotionally paused. For example, I understand English, but I feel stuck when I speak. You can also say, I feel stuck in meetings. I feel stuck expressing my ideas. This phrase is powerful because it's honest.
Phrase 2. My mind goes blank. The next phrase is, my mind goes blank. This means everything disappears suddenly. For example, my mind goes blank when I'm nervous. It's very natural English.
Phrase 3. I know what I want to say. This phrase expresses frustration. I know what I want to say, but I can't express it. Very common. Very human.
Phrase 4. Let me think for a second. This is a lifesaver. Polite. Natural. Confident. Use it freely.
Phrase 5. I'm not comfortable yet. This removes pressure. It shows progress without perfection.
Phrase 6. I'm still learning. This phrase is calm and confident. Not apologetic.
Phrase 7. I need a moment. This means simple, honest, human.
Phrase 8. It takes me time to process. This explains your pause without shame.
Phrase 9. I'm getting better. Progress-focused mindset.
Phrase 10. I just need practice. Because that's the truth.
If you remember one thing from today, remember this. Being stuck means you're close.
Very close. Speak imperfectly. Pause without shame. Trust the process.
This is Emma.
And Alex.
And this is Flow Speak Studio.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment down.